Hi everyone, and welcome to Demystifying Compliance. I am Luke.
And I am Andy.
And today we're going to talk about energy bills being a diagnostic check, not a cost.
Yeah.
And I think it's important that schools recognise that an energy bill is actually a diagnostic check, because I think if you look at the commercial world, you walk into a building when you take over a building as an FM, and you would kind of do an immediate energy audit. You'd make sure you go and see what's working when everything gets a sort of its kind of resting heart rate. And I think that is generally can be done maybe in August. Maybe if you go to a Sunday in August, certainly in a school Sunday. Any Sunday in August is going to be a school's resting heart rate. There's going to be no energy, there's going to be no heat being consumed. Everything's going to be pretty much turned off. What is being consumed? If something's being kept on and you are consuming energy, you need to question why. Equally, at the other end of the scale, you probably need to go to the 2nd or 3rd of January when everybody starts coming back after the Christmas break, when all your heating's on, etc., and you need to be able to take a reading then. Those readings should be vastly different from each other.
Yeah.
And I think there are occasions where that's just not the case. And I've certainly been into schools where, I went to one school recently where there was the heating system had a manual override on it, and it had been like that for 2 years. And so simple things of just doing a bit of a check in terms of analysing what your costs were and what your consumption was in a given time frame will show you so many different issues that are not just linked to faults, maybe. Just bad practice sometimes. And I don't know what you've seen in schools that's got mirrors that as well.
Well, it's funny because you're talking about seasonal, but it could also be term break, term time as well.
Exactly, it could be
so
as well.
Clearly not using as much. I mean, I've got to admit I have had a couple of mishaps in my long life. A good example would be, come the end of the summer term, everyone breaks up, off they go, get a high electricity bill, or the same height.
In the summer?
During the summer, over the August period, July-August period. And when I investigated, what we failed on doing was making sure that the heating pump to the swimming pool was switched off.
Yeah, classic.
So for the whole of the summer, all the frogs and all the other aquatic life that frequents swimming pools in the summer, we're having a great time. So we've had that extreme, but beware the Ides of March. So normally in the summer, this is where you get your contractors in. So the contractors will come in and do the stuff. Again, where I've been caught out in the past, I've had a contractor come in, service the boiler in readiness for obviously the winter weather kicking in. Unbeknown to me, when boiler man arrived, boiler was switched off. When boiler man left, boiler was switched on. So again, over a period of the whole of the summer, the boiler was just chugging away, just providing a load of heating. So yeah, there's different aspects, and there's loads of stuff that you can look at. I think I've given you an example in the past where I actually had a dripping tap. I put a tap on drip, measured how much water it would collect in an hour, and then worked out how much obviously that would be costing.
Yeah.
And I could identify on weekly water meter reading checks, if it was slightly higher by a certain amount, I knew I had a dripping tap somewhere. So I would just send the guys out round the school looking for a dripping tap. Because you just knew there was a dripping tap.
That's the level of intelligence needed, isn't it? I mean, it's good quality data, which is what, again, SEMS is asking for, good quality data. But if you recognise that these bills and these measurements that you're taking are intelligence, not just statutory checks and not just checks and maintenance checks, they are mechanisms for exposing faults. And actually, if you can expose a fault and you've got things like a pump, for example, if you do have a pump running 24/7, 365, well, the life cycle of that pump is going to be significantly lessened, so that you will need to go and be looking at replacing it in just a few years' time. And I think that you don't have to be overly sophisticated in estates and compliance to be able to do this stuff. It's very, very sort of low-hanging fruit. It's a change of behaviour in staff and pupils and anybody that uses the buildings to be able to come in and do things like close doors, turn lights off, close windows, etc. All those sort of simple things that you can do. Then once you've done that, you could then start building that sort of profile up maybe, and start with the sort of slightly cheaper options as well. Things like daylight harvesting systems, where you can actually turn the lights off automatically, but through having or turn the lights down automatically by having a daylight harvesting system in. And I did see as well, one of the other things that I found quite interesting just before Christmas last year was I found a what they called again, the scanning machines that used to be about £50,000 that you could go and see the heat. I'm trying to think what it's called now.
Oh, thermal
imaging camera. Thermal imaging cameras back in the day. I used to hire a guy that had a £50,000 piece of kit, and you'd used to hire him at £5,000 a pop to come around and do a thermal imaging camera survey, and it would unveil lots of different things. And in a school, things like cold bridges out into it would just expose where there were gaps in your windows and that sort. But the main thing was to obviously go and see where all the heat spots were in terms of your electrical system. You could now get them for 70 quid on Amazon and plug them into your mobile phone. Why don't you just do that? There are savings that could be made just by plugging some of the gaps that you can see in some of the windows and some of the gaps in the doorways that you can put strips in, just stopping the heat from the leakage and it goes outside. Yeah. It's insane the amount of technology you can buy that's cost effective these days that will close the gap. So I think that it all starts with the initial audit, a summer audit of your energy costs and a winter audit of your energy costs, compare the two, and then start to make a change from there. Yeah. And I think that that's probably the important part of this note, is actually find your base load, make sure that you've exposed what that is. It's free then to start making small changes, and it will definitely 100% save you money, because there are going to be issues that you wouldn't have addressed sooner.
Yeah, I totally agree with that.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Andre.
Thank you, Lucas.
And we will see everybody on the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.